Hi everyone! My name's Marissa.
My name's Peter.
And this is Married with Books.
Ta-da.
So, we're here today to film a newbie Booktube tag.
Mm-hmm.
We are new to Booktube, and yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of get into the questions. You've never seen these questions before, have you?
No, I have not.
See, Peter, over here, if you didn't catch his name, doesn't really watch Booktube, so
I sometimes watch it when she's watching it.
I don't think he's ever seen a Booktube Newbie Tag.
Nope.
So these questions are going to be all brand new to him. This is going to be great, you guys. Just great. So number one is, why did you start this channel? Why did we start this channel?
Well, you've always wanted to do a Booktube channel, so I wanted to support my wife in what she loves, which is Booktube and books and more books. And it's 2021, so why not?
New year, new us?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. And yeah, I just want to be able to talk about books with more people. I mean, I know some people in my life who are readers, and we have a book club and everything. We talk about books, and it's fun and everything. But I just want more. Like, I just need more. It's my number one hobby. So, All right. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube?
Fun and unique things. My obviously great opinions I can bring to Booktube. Well,
obviously our shared channel, since that's unique. I mean, there are some out there that I've seen, couples or like siblings or I don't know, friends just doing a channel together, but I still think it's unique. So
yeah, we both have different opinions about books. So like sometimes we can both read the same book and just be like, I loved it and I hated it.
That doesn't happen that often. What are you talking about?
I mean, but we both could have our own perspective on a book.
So
and it'd be an interesting contrast.
I guess, but we also don't read all the same books. I mean, we both read fantasy. That is our favorite genre. But I tend to read more like young adult stuff and a variety of genres, and you just stick to
fantasy,
adult
sci-fi,
fantasy.
And sometimes YA when
I force him to.
strongly suggest multiple times.
All right, let's move on. Number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel?
I'm personally very excited to actually like encourage myself to read more, because I don't read as much as she does. I read about a third, which I read 42 books last year.
I was gonna say, how many books did we read last year? 130.
Yeah.
42.
So I'm encouraged to read more, especially since, we're all still under quarantine, so I've got to have something to do.
This is something to do, all right? Yeah, like I said, I'm just excited for, I guess, just the whole process, and meeting new people and talking about my favorite thing, just fantasy books with all you guys, and yeah, I'm excited. Okay, number 4, I really like this one because it's just, why do you love reading? Kind of thought-provoking, but simple.
I've always loved reading, but why do I love it so much? Well, for me, reading is a great, not just an escapism, but I love the possibilities. I love the possibilities, especially in fantasy, where, anything is possible. So when you're reading a book, anything is possible. And that's what I love about reading so much. And then it's just a great way to distract yourself. It's a great way to just think.
Yeah, I think for me, well, so part of it, so I don't like to use the word escapism so much, but it's more just being able to not live a different life, but experience a different life and experience different things, because our experience can be so limited to where we live, who we know, that kind of thing. So I just find it it can be fascinating just to live different lives, so we don't just live one life. and just for the entertainment factor. And I like to consume things, but I like to consume it in a I guess more an intellectual way, and be able to like discuss different topics and things like that, and learn, of course. So it's both. That's what I love about reading. It's both an entertainment and can, you know, lead to learning and more knowledge and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 5. What book or series got you into reading?
Wow. Well, I guess I'd have to go with... I mean, I was still reading before Harry Potter. I think it was Animorphs, actually. For anyone that's actually read Animorphs, it was about a book series about young teens transforming into animals. And there's aliens and all kinds of cool stuff like that, and where they have to fight off the aliens trying to take over Earth. And yeah, that was a fun series. It got me into reading, and then Harry Potter came out like soon after. So then that jump-started more reading. And yeah, there's a whole timeline to the fantasy books I've read. I might make a video on it.
That would be interesting. So for me, when I hear this question, it's kind of difficult because I feel like I've always been a reader. Like my earliest memories are just of reading. It's something I always did. I always had books. I'd always have to bring a book with me anywhere I went. My family will tell you, like anytime we go to a restaurant or just like anywhere, I'd always have to bring a book with me.
Same.
It kind of goes back to like why you love reading too, is like, at least as a kid, it was a nice way to just have something to do and get out of talking to people.
So you also used it as a way to get out of talking to adults too.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that a lot.
I know it's kind of not embarrassing to admit, but yeah, it's the fact when you're like, you know, just more, I guess, more introverted, although nowadays I feel like I'm an extrovert. But yeah, back when I was a kid, I was definitely very shy and didn't really want to talk, especially to adults and stuff. So yeah, I like to bring a book with me.
Yeah.
But back to the question. So when I think about like what books got me into reading, it's kind of hard to say because I always was a reader, but there are certain books I remember from my childhood that I really enjoyed. One of them being The Little House on the Prairie. I loved reading those books. Couldn't tell you nowadays like what it was about really. I do actually want to reread those at some point. But yeah, Little House on the Prairie. Matilda was a good one, especially since it was about a young girl who loved to read and was really smart and things like that. So I really enjoyed that one. And then the other one that comes to mind is The Golden Compass. I almost forgot the name. The Golden Compass, which pretty sure I read before like Harry Potter came out or anything, and I think maybe that's what got me into fantasy because I loved that book. That was so cool and magical. So I just want to say like I was into reading and fantasy and stuff before Harry Potter. So
I mean, I was reading sci-fi technically, I guess.
What a little nerd you were, huh? Okay, so number 6. Man, we're halfway there. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I didn't even know that was one question. Well, I don't know if you have a favorite booktuber. So
well, obviously, my favorite booktuber is Holly Hart's Books. That's the one who also loves Joe Abercrombie, as I am a Joe Abercrombie fanboy. Mm-hmm. And I would ask her, "Do you love Joe Abercrombie more than I do?"
Would you have like a little contest? Who loves Joe Abercrombie more?
Yeah, I think we would.
She might win though.
Sure.
What questions would I ask? I don't know. I feel like just like kind of the general questions, like, what are you doing? Like, how do you do this? So like, I just know it's gonna be a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. So it's just like, how do you do this? How do you balance like making videos and just your daily lives and you know full-time jobs and things like that, because we both have full-time jobs and everything, and obviously we want to keep reading a lot as well. So just how do you balance that? And yeah, how do you like Photoshop? Because I'm gonna have to learn. I'm going to be learning that. Okay, so 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome?
It's learning Photoshop, which you just mentioned.
Yeah, like the technical stuff will be a challenge. I also think just like I said, kind of sticking to a filming schedule and and getting videos out in time.
Yeah, I think sticking to the schedule would actually probably be the hardest part, just because, I don't know, it's like, hey, I want to read right now, but oh, we should record Booktube. Which, hey, you can sometimes do both.
Mm-hmm. Reading vlogs. It's going to be hopefully a lot of reading vlogs on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, killing two birds with one stone. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, my iPod keeps flipping around. So number 8 is, when did you start reading? I feel like we kind of answered that, but...
Yeah, isn't that this?
It's number 8. When did you start reading?
So I started reading Animorphs 3rd grade, I think. I don't know, that's my earliest memory, getting it from the school library. So...
Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely think I was reading before 3rd grade, but I just feel like, yeah, as soon as I could read on my own, I was probably reading.
Mm-hmm.
Probably around that time, like 2nd, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Where do you read? Is number 9. Where do you read?
Mostly at home, because COVID. I don't know, but pre-COVID, I really liked reading, like going out to eat with Marissa and reading at restaurants. Cause
Yeah, that's where we like really differ in our reading habits. Is Peter loves to read while eating, and especially at restaurants, and like just sitting there for a couple hours and reading. And I do enjoy that too, but my problem is just eating and reading at the same time is difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a skill that I have not perfected.
And Marissa really likes to be comfy when she reads. So normally we read either on the couch, which is right over there, or in the bedroom.
Yeah, I my favorite spot is just right there on the couch with the TV with like YouTube on in the background, and because I have to listen to something while I read, and yeah, just be comfortable and have good lighting. I have to have good lighting. Like, we definitely need to get more lighting in the house. But yeah, I do like reading like out at like a bookstore or a coffee shop where there's bright light, and yeah, that's the best part. Best place to read. And then what kind of books do you like to read?
Well, we kind of went over that already, but fantasy and sci-fi mainly for me, and then the occasional YA book. I've read quite a few YA books actually, not that many.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely moving like away from YA. There was a point actually last year in 2020 where I just kind of like could not read YA anymore. It's just like over it. But I still do read it. I still do enjoy it, but I'm trying to move away from it a little bit. Just naturally, I think it just happens as you get older. But yeah, fantasy is my favorite genre too, like high fantasy, but I also really enjoy urban fantasy. And I'll read pretty much anything, except like straight up romance. Like, I am starting to read some, I'm starting to read some like romance books, but it's more like erotic. Or like, I don't know, just like, or fantasy romance, but I don't read like straight up contemporary like romance. Those just don't interest me, like rom-com kind of things. But yeah, I know I'm rambling, but yeah, I'll pretty much read anything else. Contemporary, a little bit of historical fiction, science fiction, horror and thrillers. I really like horror, although horror books are kind of hit or miss for me, but I still really enjoy just the horror genre and horror movies and all of that, which Peter does not. So if there's any horror fans out there, hey, let's chat. Let's chat about horror, because this one's a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to her about it. Too spooky.
Wimp! And this is where he leaves the video. So, I don't think we have an outro yet, but thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of us, then I guess subscribe and like the video.
Cool.
Bye!
I don't even know what that means.